What did you say?
You said the like 11th thing.
Yeah.
This
This or because it's instead of a scratching.
We are going to go ahead and get started. Jan is actually with us. She's watching the presentation tonight. This was the one night she could actually physically be here. So, and then hopefully Marco and Megan will be here. So please really quickly look at your agenda. Look at our intended outcomes. Glance over those working agreements as usual. No, you can stay. Scott.
Absolutely.
It's back in the corner. Push it around. All right, so behind that, your agenda, you have the rubric. So hopefully you familiarized yourself with it between our last meeting and now, which was your homework. And then the page after that looks very much like the rubric. However, it's just your note catcher for Amplify. So at the top, if you would put where it says publish or blank, write in Amplify. You'll notice it doesn't have any place for you to score because we're not scoring yet. This is just a place for you to capture notes during our presentation. If this format doesn't work for you, feel free just to jot your notes on the back or wherever you need to. And then grade levels. Kindergarten and third grade will be Kirsten and Anna. First grade and fourth grade is Jen, Megan, and Ashley. Group C, second and fifth grade is Marco, Stephanie, and Trish. So as you remember, you can look at all the grade levels, but those are the ones you're going to be an expert on. Any questions? So tonight we're excited. We have our first publisher presentation from Amplify CKLA Core Knowledge Language Arts. So this is Michelle and Yvonne and Erin. Nice to meet you. So welcome, and you can go ahead.
Thank you. Well, thank you all so much for having us back. We're super excited to be here and share all things CKLA. We also have another team member with us, and she's joined remotely. Her name is Christine Breck, and she is one of our community liaisons. So what she does is she supports communities with making any modifications that they may want to make, and how to support them to ensure standards are met. And
I know. I never know how to. It's hard to because small groups comes up. And people are like, I'm like, we got to clarify what I mean by small groups. Like in intervention time, in tier 3 time, or win time, or whatever your school, you guys use the word win or okay. In win time, yes, you're going to level the students. They're going to go get what they need. But in core, we're not going to say put your below grade level readers here, and everyone is going to be working with the codable text. What we mean by small groups is it will say things like today's a reread. The kids that got it can stay at their seat and complete this activity independently because they have the skill to do so, basically freeing the teacher up to then go do a reread with the kids that need it. So we're not going to assume you have extra teachers in the room. So our small group is more always staying on grade level. But we provide off grade level resources like that intervention toolkit to use during win time. So you're still bringing in CKLA.
And we do have, our M-Class intervention is amazing. Like it is not part of the CKLA, but it is explicit. It literally, you could take your iStation data and put those kiddos that aren't at grade level and have them go through, the quick assessment, and it identifies multiple groups, it groups them, and it provides explicit instruction.
It groups them and it's a 10-day tier 3 comprehensive support tool. I ran it in my school and we had parent volunteers, there's 2 right here, who will come in and actually teach the lessons.
And I looked at that and thought, like, I wish I would have had that, because as a teacher, I know where they're struggling, but I'm not really sure what to provide. So, right, I'm out there searching to see what's going to be best for them. This is a 10-day, and then you progress monitor, you sync, and it gives you another 10 days worth of instruction for those specific kids. So and I'm sorry, because it isn't part of CKLA, but I looked at those lessons and I'm like,
How long would that kind of a lesson be?
so it's
20 minutes.
It's 20 minutes. If you have more time in your intervention block, then you can definitely use the 30. I mean, you could use 30 minutes. However, it is. Aaron was like, I want a grade level. I want everyone to see it, because you could read it and work with the kids, and it shows you the different levels and the different groups.
Yeah, and it's 10 days because it's meant to be a burst of instruction, because it focuses on one tiny skill. And it's 10 days and we hit it really hard. And then the kids get progress monitor and a new 10-day lesson thing is generated based on the data. And then 10 days and you progress monitor them, and the algorithm is so robust, it takes 24 hours for the computer to crunch the data before it'll generate a new packet of lessons.
You said that was tier 2 or tier 3?
Tier 3.
And what's it called?
Amplify Intervention.
Oh.
Very creative name we have. Or M-Class intervention, but yeah, intervention. And then the other one was that boost reading. That's more of your tier 2 or individual practice. So, so they all work together in like a cohesive way, but we just wanted to be mindful about, I'm here to talk about core, so that's what I focus on for sure.
So Christine, can you hear? Do you want to make a comment in regards to, how you've helped and some of the things that you've worked with communities on?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for.
No, it's not me. It's because it's not you, it's us, and she's not here.
I think all participants are muted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So but thank you for being here. And if you start going through some of the literature, like some of the texts, and you have questions, we're going to refer you to Christine, and in anything that she can take a look or explain how she may have supported districts in the.
It's a way to like customize things that's unique to your district. Like in another state, they had to cover like magnetism in a certain way. And so we needed to adjust that verbiage to match. So she'd be that person who did that.
Yeah. Any modifications to align with your community.
Do you have time pacing? So like for the skills strand and the knowledge strand, K1, 2,
Yes.
and then I'm assuming 3, 4, 5 just for the knowledge strand. Like,
To hunt down and treat as like the holy grail. That's 60 minutes of skills, like non-negotiable, don't pull out, no lunch in the middle of it if possible. Knowledge strand is another 60 minutes, but it's chunked and sprinkled in the crevices of their schedule. So for me, I had 60 minutes of skills. Knowledge strand, I did like 10, I had weird 10 minutes between lunch and lunch recess. I started it then and I added it into the other. So collectively it is 2 hours. Do they have that? Someone? Okay. Third grade, the reason why I say third grade for last is third grade is also 120 minutes. But if you remember, it's just like 4 or 5 where it just has, as you were calling it, like the knowledge strand. The reason why they have the extra time is third grade are the gatekeepers. We cannot let third graders move on if they can't read. So third grade is teaching all those third grade skills, but we built an extra 20 minutes of review like every day. So that's why, so If your third graders are all rock stars, they're probably not gonna need all 20 minutes. But
So fourth, third grade, because they don't have the skills strands, that's included in their knowledge strand?
it will have a lot of review. It will have a lot of review. So it would say, it's gonna review some blending techniques that they can use and things like that. It's really tries to stay true to third grade level expectations, but we built in a lot of, we gotta catch them. It's our last chance stuff that's in there. Yeah, look at you raising your hand.
know if I was supposed to or not.
You could just send it to me because we're on May the 4th. I'm just looking at a list.
So starting out, how many years does it take before, because this feels like it's such a big change from where we are. So how long does it take before, does it take until those kinders are up into third or fourth for it to start to?
My kids will fit.
I think that, I know, but I thought you're talking the knowledge thing, right? Like you were worried that the knowledge builds from year to year and that fifth grade won't have K 1, 2, 3, 4 knowledge.
Well, and one of the things that we were talking about before was that whole independence piece, and that independence grows over the years as they go through the program, and 3, 4, 5 is going to take it a little bit more to build some of that independence in the students, and I just didn't know.
I would say the independence though is going to be the same amount of programs. Like the level of independence built from K to 5 anyway.
You kind of mentioned in the materials though, like it's assuming prior knowledge, right? So as,
Ooh, our knowledge will not assume prior knowledge. In fact, lesson 1 of every knowledge strand is review of any content that would have happened in other grades. Because like I taught right by the Air Force Academy, so real transient community because it's military, right? So every year was our first year. Every year we were starting over with a bunch of new kids. So lesson 1 of every knowledge is a repeat. The only time we ever say things like, what did you learn in first grade? It'll be a KWL chart. What do you know? What do you wonder? Kind of thing. Like what do you know about the body systems? And the kids can just add it on the chart. That's where that stuff will come up. Or sometimes it'll say like, you may remember when you learned about blah, 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 and how he did it. Well, this is a different king that blah, 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 blah. So that will pop up, but it is not dependent. I thought you were going with like, from my personal perspective, when do you start to feel comfortable with this
Yeah,
teaching?
I might have also, you might want to add your question because that might be
Well,
2 parts.
Well, I have a teaching partner who did this somewhere else, and she did tell me that, yeah, it takes a while before you get used to because it's so different. But I just didn't know if it was something where it takes the kids a while to get into the rhythm of it. I mean, over the course of the year, or if it's just something that they just.
Oh, I'll say like, and I know you're just like, this is like my experience. Like, I don't think we have efficacy data to actually officially tell you when it changed, but I'll tell you the kids rolled with it right away. It was me as a teacher getting used to teaching in a different way. For example, I had to stop calling this an M. It was very hard for me to stop calling this an M. Now, do we teach letter names? Yes. But in kindergarten, I'm calling this a Like, okay, what sound does this make? Okay, let's add our and let's put our with it. That's, working on that. That's what I saw, right? So that was something that took me a while. So when I'm fumbling a little bit, they're going to fumble a little bit. But the kids pick this up right away. I would say in 4 or 5, that's where you're going to see a little bit more challenge because I would imagine the rigor of this text might be higher. Is this higher than what you're teaching now? So the teachers are probably going to be more dependent on those audio files until the kids have come up through a SOR program.
So it's more of the teacher side getting used to it.
Because we know how we've always taught. And the other thing I did is I moved things out of order because I was like, well, I need to grow plants in the summer and the spring. So I moved plants to the end of the year, which made no sense because now I was teaching phrases and sentences in opposite order. I did things like that. I did things like, well, they didn't really clarify the difference between a proper noun and a common noun. And I would add all this extra stuff. And I just kept making my life so much harder. Just worked with a school that they really wanted to hold on to these certain things and they kept bringing them in. And they all came together and actually said, we're going to start over with CKLA in the middle of the year because they had tried so hard to make a square peg fit in their circle hole instead of, that's always my advice when I'm training teachers is year 1, just teach it the way it is meant to be taught. And then year 2, do your changes because then you know what you're changing. it's not that there's a rule you can't change CKLA. It's like, don't change it before you know what it is. So yeah, year one is wonky. The teachers that are the best are the ones that are willing to just gonna roll with it and see where it goes. And that's where those are the ones that have the most success with it. So, that helpful.
You guys, I'm sure, all better teachers than I was, but I'm just thinking, like, when I go into a CKLA classroom and I hear kids speaking in complete sentences, like, I don't think I demanded that or expected that
Mhm.
out of my students. And then it makes sense, like, they need to hear it before they're gonna be able to write it. So we'll go in and observe teachers anyone who's willing to let us in so that we can help support. And then you sometimes identify, is it a CKLA pacing or is it the instructional decisions that the teacher's making may not make sense, right? Or, for the pacing, and so, so things like that, and there's lots of low hanging fruit too, that you can, just make some suggestions to the teacher so that the flow goes so much more quickly.
Michelle, I don't think you mentioned the remediation guides. And so I'm thinking about the question that, in the very first year, 4th and 5th graders haven't had the benefit of going through CKLA,
Yeah.
K1, 2, 3. So they're coming into a new approach and
Yep.
maybe they have some gaps.
Yep.
Is the remediation guide something?
Well, the
that's-
remediation guide is now the intervention toolkit, and it's completely online and easy to use. It's behind my little kid there.
So that you'll hear reference to our assessment and remediation guide. And what it used to be is we had 1,000+ page document that you could go and you could print straight from. We still give that to you. You still have access to that as a PDF, and that's what you can do with small groups and different extra practice activities. 4 or 5 teachers might say, okay, and this would be a district decision, but maybe you guys go, okay, on, the 20 minutes every day, we're going to do some, 3rd grade level skills because I've got to get my kids caught up, and you could use the intervention toolkit for that. So the intervention toolkit has all these basic skills, but it's basically the same thing as the intervention. The assessment and remediation guide, or the ARG you'll come across, is basically been digitized in that intervention toolkit. But even more powerful is in the teacher resource section of teacher guides, especially like in 3rd and 4th, there will be a review like, this is how we taught syllables in K1, 2. So although it's not a lesson, it's in that teacher resource back matter of the book so that teacher can better understand. Because sometimes 4th and 5th grade teachers are intimidated by that spelling test answer key. Like, I don't know this. And so there's some guidance in there for that. Ooh,
Great.
you guys have to stay in here until 8. Lordy. It's good though. You're cold? Oh, you're underneath the vent.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We can pack. Okay. Good.
Yes, you.
Okay.
So make sure to get some station for the sign in sign. Woo, this one. Let's see what else. So the time that we have left, you can dive into materials. You can look at any materials we have. If you just want to look at Amplify, that's fine. If you want to look at all of them, that's fine. I just ask that you put them back where you find them. Anything out there, just because we have more open houses. And so people will be coming to look at those things. But they're all of these things, any of this stuff you can take home with you to look at. And then the stuff out there on the floor can be taken too, just not anything out of the boxes.
Can you tell us again what our grade levels are?
Yeah.
I remember 2nd, I just don't remember if it's just 2nd and 4th or if it's 3. So just 2 grade levels.
2-5, 2-5, 2-4,
I think
it's 2-5.
I'm
Something. 2-5.
There we are. Yep. There we are. If you need them again.
Got it, okay.
So,
I remembered the 2nd grade. I didn't think to ask, because I didn't actually look at this until she left, like, inside. These are not included. They don't provide new ones to use every year, right?
no, they would not be considered consumable.
Okay. Okay,
is my understanding.
okay. I wasn't entirely sure because I'm like, it would be nice if they were doing annotations, because you still practice annotation.
But they can probably annotate in, I'm hoping
The
that
online version, right?
the online version, yes, and
But
then maybe in some of their like this.
I don't know that the full text of this is.
Right, I'm not sure, either, but it might be.
It does.
I think there's like,
I think it is.
Oh, the exhibit.
I think that's the one she was talking about, that you could, it would like highlight green as it went along. Because I think she was in a fourth grade, right? When the sheep weren't showing up. Because I definitely wondered that too, right? Like, are the kids that'll be fifth graders next year or first graders when we shut down, right? That's the crap.
I will, what I can do also, and I haven't set this up, is I can create a OneDrive document where you can upload any questions you have for any of them, and I can ship them off to them and have them respond and then share out too as other questions arise.
That'd be awesome.
So how to do that. Share your question. So feel free to dive into these things. You can work with your partner group if you want, or if you just need some individual time, that's fine too. If you need help locating something, these are organized by grade level. And again, you can take any of this stuff home and any of the stuff on the floor out there home. And you can look at anything that's up high, just put it back where you find it.
Any of this stuff too?
That stuff can go home, yeah, and that's sample stuff. As samples, yeah. So up top is K1, 2, on the bottom is 3, 4, 5 from left to right. And on the back, you can see the grade levels, and like all of first grade is orange. Third grade is second green and so on.
But this is a consumable that would be purchased every year.
Yes, yeah, yes. Please help yourself to sandwiches. And it's water and soda's in the fridge.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
I know, much more sticky in sand, don't you think? I'm only on chapter 1. I did read and I could not put it down last night, and I brought it to my meeting. We're going to have to talk about it.
The other one you have to read.
It was not loaded when I was this.
Right?
Yeah, that's
About it. Years ago, I was like,
Yeah, that's the question about it.
so acknowledge, yeah.
This stuff that's here.
I'm super bummed. I left my book at school because someone was doing it. Run to get to here. And I'm texting, going, who has the book? Kendall has the book. Okay, can I come by tonight? Because it's a super good read. It's very.
Yes, very much.
I was already telling him to.
We need to make sure that
I have started doing it, this third grade used to just do afternoon lunch method. This year, I just started doing morning recess as well, and normally, well, now that the weather's nice, we go longer than 15 minutes.
But we stole from the winter and then we're adding.
Yes. Yes.
So I didn't make kindergarten. Bring all your snow gear. You are going outside.
I'm just.
And they don't look very cold outside.
Yeah, they do. Mhm.
It's usually pretty passionate and beautiful. I don't know what it is, we'll just come with it. Okay, so I'm going to find. Right, all the things.
I want the 3 pieces that she said. I want the middle of the here thing. I'm looking at that. I seen consideration.
Are they getting like? This is like, I don't want it to be overwhelming to me. This is skills class, and there's already going to get 5, 6, 7. Look how big that is. Yeah, that bad boy.
That's kind of how I feel about trainings right now, though. Like the storage. Because, yeah, it takes up all the storage.
Here's three. Oh, this is big
Okay.
stuff right here.
This is the one time. Like, because we love the little guys, but where's the skills for first grade? That's what I want to think. 4-3, the orange for first grade. For skills. Yeah, that's great too.
Yeah.
I have the activity book and the.
Oh, big literature books for all the kindergarten, like lit. Like,
I saw her bring some.
Aren't those these guys? Well, I guess I didn't see big literature books. I saw big, like the picture cards, because you just read out loud. Like you read and just show the pictures.
Oh, that is true, because it's all read aloud
Mm-hmm.
in my younger grade.
Do you have the 3 skills? I saw underpaid those. They have like a real book. I don't know what they do in there. I underpaid, but I'm like, there must be more than just underpaid. Knowledge 4, we take all the 4s. No, I just did. No, I put my sandwich. Lettuce, little pieces. So what you doing? You busy? Well, she needs an hour and 20.
Total. So your skills strand is 60 and then rough it, and then your knowledge strand is 60, but broken into chunks. But you 60 minutes.
Do you want to meet together? Maybe need some chocolate. Understand.
12 times a day.
That's what I said to me. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
I was wondering, I need to look the big books that are there. I'm gonna go look. Because my boss went up and they went down and I showed her like. They really really watch it.
You can't even.
Can't find seven and I'm like, I'm being here about trying to get all the pieces.
Yes, but.
Leprechauns and swans that are very unique. This might
What are you looking for?
I'll just switch my.
I saw them in the backboard.
Well, that question.
About,
So
My brother.
very rarely, if ever, brings colors. So these take home activities, would they actually do these in class or would they not be done?
You have everything filed.
Did you grab anything from fourth yet?
Not yet. I'm still reading.
Do you want me to just pull out and then do a fourth grade?
Sure,
Yeah.
It doesn't get done. Yep. And there's. Then it causes fights at home.
In the middle
So why do that?
Personal narratives, American Revolution, treasure.
Wait.
Yeah.
And that was fine. Like, hey, is it? It's like more of the structure and like style.
The more folks
Really
got,
were integrated into the classroom. How much is that a thing? Say that again. You guys use any?
There's only one teacher book for the higher grade.
So. But I don't understand, so there was a way that you could go and pick. You could choose a CPR, that one, and then you can choose your grade.
There we go.
Yeah, that's why we're doing If you go, it goes down on the page. Yeah, so here, this is an overview. And you want to do that. I'd like to do that.
I like doing everything one-handed.
Bill,
I was just looking to see if they had skills one, but it's just the only through the prior to the week.
that you have.
I can look out there. I might, because I can test everything on my daughter right now. If it was like skills one.
Yeah.
Like, if you click on you can see the preview of the cards, so that's the patient review thing. So someone had two monitors, so I can present on one and look at what it's like for me at his desk. On the other one, it has all the teacher instructions on the desk. So all the annotations of the teacher guide basically is
Right.
on the
But
side
once
of that.
it's taught,
On the teacher view.
phonetically, it's
The
not.
kids don't see it. And the kids see is actually interactive. So everything went through like the
I like the
list
idea.
unit
Being
and you can draw
Uh-huh.
using your mouse at your computer
And that also
on the
kind of
presentation that is on the screen.
Yeah.
You trace the trail of tears over annotate the map or whatever it happens to be. And I didn't realize that it could also be passed on to students or to all devices. And you could have them.
How we're set up.
How do you think that, thinking about like visual cards for students display, that's only intended, is that what they?
Okay, one, I heard.
Okay, one.
Oh, my.
Like their academic, it really is what it is.
But I wonder, you know,
Great. So that allows us to go over.
I saw it. I'm guessing we need it. Just maybe I just think that's how digging more with how we look at this.
Right.
Yeah, just that.
What does that sound like? No, it's fine. I got those 10 days.
I think I have students that would love that. But that will get into tier 2 level, not tier 3.
Those are just for tier 3. Right.
And that's an additional expense. I'm not betting. Thank you to every reading.
No, I assume that would be like.
Yeah,
So we would not do that either.
now that's not part of the program, but we would use it.
We would just use that in place of, right, that, like, we could still access the small group portion.
Right.
No, could we still actually access that intervention toolkit?
Yes, the intervention toolkit is part of CCAP.
Okay.
My kids would be like,
Yeah, like it would make more sense. I mean, I just think. For the kids too.
And when you click on the teach, that's where they have the, you can click through the slides and that's where they have the explicit objectives and whatnot after the read aloud story.
Yeah. Because so that's
So what it does, when you like, so what it does when you click to start class, it opens another tab that you could drag onto a second screen. That's just the presentation.
just
Yes,
to
if
see
you
if they
take
can
the
find something.
presentation, and you do the presentation on the other screen. And then if you want it through, and it leaves the teacher notes on the slide if you want it. And you can skip slides by clicking on, double clicking on them after you start the presentation. It's kind of cool. But,
Like is that?
yeah, that's just the learning goals.
I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Mhm.
I just thought, but like,
This would have saved me some time. These are my. So these are my slides I have. Today. So my question is, could I just put these in there?
If you can download it, so if you have Chrome, then you can download it as a Google slide, as Google Slides.
And within your Google Slides.
But once you have it downloaded as Google Slides, then you can export those
Oh, that's
slides as PowerPoint.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's kind of a way to do it, but.
The other interesting thing.
I love the fact that it has all of the last stuff.
Spanish editions for New Horizons.
When I
Yeah,
have
she can talk
my-
about Spanish.
They have it, but even more, does not have a Spanish version. They're really, like in 2 years, it'll be available. Because they have every year.
Of course, I also have 3 students.
I thought we had, didn't we have Spanish when we had some part?
Yes, that's what I said.
That's what it said.
Yeah,
So it's gone and now it's.
yeah, they have to rewrite it, and apparently it's like on their, I don't know what they call it, it's on the docket. It's not gonna be ready
But
for.
I like this where you just.
Could we use the old Aura? Like, is there currently?
And the interesting thing is, so these are the slides that you can use.
I don't think it's the same one.
Not the same one.
But these slides are the same
I
as
know,
the
she
video,
is.
which is.
I remember her from when she did
And
it.
so even if you're using the
But
slides,
I
you can
mean, that's
choose
just
whether
like
you want
one
to
piece
read
of
it
this
or you
like
want
puzzle, the Spanish thing.
The narration is actually pretty good quality, except they said
Yeah.
we're gone.
But it's still.
It's just a little piece to know.
Yeah.
And this part.
Is
Is there an extra curriculum that specific school can have?
So
Since it's a dual.
when they open, since it is a dual language, when they open, they not ironically, but luckily every program we have selected had a Spanish component. And so they've always, so this would be, if we go with a it'd be the first year where they didn't have one. And so they then would probably have to, or they would have to go through a full adoption like we're doing currently for a Spanish version. And then it would be approved by the board. And but the problem is that the Spanish version of their journey still. Right, so they're gonna be in a pinch, but it. It's a component, but it's not.
We can solve all the problems.
I know, where's the perfect?
I know, like.
I don't know, if we could create it, we would be making.
Yeah, and it would take us.
All right.
And how many years would it take?
10 years. Longer than what I have till retirement.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
These
There's a
are-
reason
Yes.
why- yeah.
Here's your positive point.
So Tammy, I was looking for quotables in a paper version.
The quotable books, like these.
Would it be in PDF? We'd have to like write to a PDF. Okay, I'm getting.
They're not gonna
that
send
question
these every
up
year,
now.
right?
What?
They're not gonna send these every year.
No.
These are the
No,
quotables,
yeah,
right?
that is the book, which is funny. The paper weight on those isn't.
I'll share out I'm creating a OneNote questions folder right now. And so you can start jumping questions in.
But I wonder too if they maybe don't recommend sending.
I wonder if there would be.
They would not want you to send it.
Well, no, not
Not
these,
everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, if they're being used for years.
Would there, because if it's all digital.
I guess, yeah, if they can access it on their iPad digitally.
But then if they wanted to have it at home, how would parents access it?
If you can assign it, like,
Yeah, they could
In
have a computer at their
into their
house.
student account, yeah.
I agree.
You know, they every skills. You guys in 2 weeks? 2 weeks for skills? How, like skills is one. How long would you get?
There's
There's
a
a
ton
that
of
for 3 weeks.
For kinder, I think there's
Is there still?
10.
But see, unit 3 is not the same as this 3. This is fine, it's when you're- this is.
Yeah.
Not, so these don't. You would have to. When that's going to. So I don't know how to work.
So I wonder if they have like another document that's like your pacing, because like lots of times they have it in here,
Maybe
but
they
it's
should.
not in here.
Oh, it's right now.
Because this,
Ancient Greece is full.
this one has 22 lessons.
But we're not doing ancient India.
So do you do one lesson a day?
But
I
maybe.
think they try it all at once, but you would never get to book 10.
But there's two
It's Greece now. This is
different,
Greece, this is Greece. This is Greek.
two different books, so then you can follow,
Both of them, so you run both, so you.
like on the same day.
Yeah, okay. So you run your skills program, that's why I'm asking. So like, this is gonna be 60 minutes of my day. And then that other book, the knowledge book, will be another 60 minutes. That's what she was saying. So this one would be 60 minutes uninterrupted, like she wants to
I think it
like
is.
as close so you can get to
Yeah.
it. And then your other 60 minutes could be piecemealed.
And the nice thing with this
So like right now, if we do our writing, we come back from lunch. We don't do that before lunch. Right? So
When
like
you do
that
math
whole
after
section.
lunch.
Mhm, And then mapping later, right?
I guess I am seeing that there are 2 review days, a unit assessment, like 2 review lessons, a unit assessment lesson, and then a positive point of 2 or 3 days.
Has the exit ticket at the end. Just.
So I guess it depends on your skill. But like if they knew it, then you could skip the pausing.
Yeah.
That means everyone's pace would be so different.
It's really
Yeah.
You
like.
know what I mean? Like, so like.
You have to collectively, well, we know district-wide, we try to be within about 2 weeks, but some get a little off. But like within your building, I would say you have to, your PLC team's gonna. have to-
Yes, you
Yeah,
have to.
but if you're within 2 weeks.
If you look for something.
That should be
So then you start teaching.
It was like
Create
an
the
R
schedule
build.
for the minutes,
So
right?
we might not have to do the pause
Anyone, this is something that if you have.
because they tend to pick it up a little faster than some other buildings, right? So we keep going, or they're gonna have to pause.
This is gonna be a.
I mean, all that.
To like review.
Those
So we're like.
So.
The parapros that you hired.
You guys know what's going on? Let's get going.
Let's
Get.
Open your head, I'm gonna pour this knowledge into it.
And that's why my kindergartners.
Awesome, huh? How was she when she came home today?
What was that?
How was she when she came home today? She was fine.
What'd she do?
She had to do some belly front. She could not draw a dolphin.
She could
We
not
went
what?
to
She could not draw a dolphin.
Yeah, because they were drawing their favorite ocean animal.
She do the X thing.
See,
They do this thing.
and then the tears, and then
Yeah.
the tears on the paper with the eraser together. I was like, so, okay, let's think this through. Take a belly breath. And she does the hypervent. I used to hyperventilate when I was like, I did that exactly. I was like, wait, where's your belly breath? I was like, okay, another one. I'm like, okay, come here for a minute. Hold on to this poppet. Just pop this for a minute. So she's popping. I'm like, how you feeling? Feel better? She's like,
They did last.
That's one of the ones she'll either do.
right. I'm like, she's like, this much. I'm like, okay, let's start over. What do you think we could do now?
It would be interesting.
Yeah, I have more papers. That is awesome. That I don't get to do.
Close.
Yeah.
She's,
Yeah.
but then.
You'll see, my son is much different.
It looks so good. I was like, you know, because me kid. The dolphin looks like a dolphin compared to some of them. She the first.
She is, and she's a unique child. All three of my children are so different. I don't even know. Like, how does that happen? when they're in the
I don't
same
understand, like, my daughter is so expressive and
You know, they end up so different.
my son is he's a dinosaur. I don't even know, like, who knows where his head is at, so.
I really like the idea of it not having any words and then having to listen and focus on the beautiful pictures. And they're not getting caught up in anything, because that's very Waldorf, is to like tell stories and storytellers, and then they're supposed to go home and tell them to their parents.
This one has the words though, that's what I was confused about.
That's the readers, the page readers.
That's the
The
decodable.
total.
Oh, so they have the decodable in the big one. Okay, so they read the decodables at the school. See, I'm still trying to figure out. We're at the end of the school.
I was looking for the decodables online. I didn't see them in a paper version.
Oh, yeah, the decodables are part of the lesson
Gotcha.
in school. They're not the
They're
table.
little ones
Yeah,
and
I'm
then
still-
the huge ones.
No, I'm looking for like, so they can copy it. It's like PDF, so we can like copy to send home.
She sends the decodables home, so I didn't know if.
Yes, no, we do, but we actually
Oh.
photocopy those too. HMIS doesn't
Yes.
supply them.
Yes,
We
we
copy
copy
them as a
them.
district.
But it would be hard to copy if they don't give them to us in a black and white PDF. That's
Yeah,
not
like
gonna
this
really
isn't,
help.
that's not a copy print. But I bet you it's on the thing. But if it's not a black and white PDF,
Yeah.
that's the,
Because
if it's this.
But I
But
could just be.
Well, it depends on regional
we got you
pronunciation.
guys a color printer though, so.
Like, there's just so
pronounce
much
these
information,
same,
right? So it could be
sounds as
somewhere
these
in there,
other
and I'm just not going to the right spot.
Could
Could be user errors and that's.
slightly different.
I have, an email that you,
Oh, to put that in, okay.
My first thing is.
it's
What
sitting
about
in
these
your.
books? Are these supplied every year?
Yeah, I think those are the
Skills.
Consumables.
Okay. So the kids should have a skills consumable and a knowledge.
Although our first graders don't have a knowledge one, right? Am I crazy?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Wait, no problem. It might be out there.
Please come home.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It's like little homework things for the kids.
If it, unless they do it in the class.
Right, the family letters,
So all
there,
family
she
letters.
said you can,
Reinforcing.
right, it's reinforcing, but she said you pull out the parent letter and send it home.
It
So
looks
you
like
would-
there's,
They're all
it
proofreading.
looks like they're supposed to memorize all these.
So the family letter,
You would rip it out as you got
and
there.
then, yeah.
Send it home.
My husband was like doing a presentation one time and was like, these terrible things are. Like, now I know, don't call it terrible, it's perforated.
You memorize tons of stuff. This is my shadow. I love it.
That's what you said, I need to get them out. Whatever.
They're in science of reading, they're not memorizing. Nurturing.
I bet they're for, do you think they're practice for like the cadence, kind of the reading it right? I know there's quite a few nursery rhymes.
Memorize.
Is it,
Both of them memorize one.
oh, they are.
Presentation. There's the assessment.
The whole thing?
What do you think that's for?
That's what I'm thinking, I don't know.
For people like my child that are very old and can do it.
You need some busy work, memorize. This and memorize that.
And memorize that. There you go, child.
I didn't do that.
That's funny.
Good job. Yeah, there's a lot in each lesson, but each lesson's what, 60 minutes?
We do a lot of that.
Or is this part of the speaking?
Do you think that's maybe part of the speaking?
It's
Is this
again,
your listening
At a
standard?
kindergarten level.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do really like
So foundation.
the idea of
Reading
reading.
is 15
languages.
Doing this, but they could do the
Introduce the
questions.
reader to the story, read it.
It's getting there though.
It's a differentiate for any kiddo.
It's the only one I saw that was like.
Never right.
memory.
Okay, because the other stuff was saying that
I
they,
did look at the second grade skill lesson and the knowledge lesson. I looked at
It is important that they know nurseries and fables and fairy tales because so many other skills literature and media.
Was it stretching a little brain matter, the
Good.
knowledge? If we do a poem a week and some of them are like this big, they really do dovetail. It's really.
it's just so different. There's a very wide range. I think from what I saw.
I know, we didn't intend to. They come to us with this.
I know, maybe
That's-
that's because she's seen it.
No.
She gets to spend
Well,
more
they
time
were,
with
I was with the sight words, I was noting, and so I liked how they were saying how they teach them how to read it, because most of the kids there were like, to, like, and I'm like, you're, I'm so proud of you. So proud of you.
My favorite is kinder when we used to do IRI, and it would just be a list of letters, and at the beginning of the year, you ask, they just say the letter name, and then you say, okay, now can you tell me the letter sounds? And they kind of like you, and then they start writing, yeah. Rawr. Got it. Okay, thanks. That was good. Moving on. Like just random salads, like they have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's,
So
yeah, I got that one the other day too.
It's very
Again, okay.
Yes.
I know one that he always said, oh, that one's hard for me.
That one's hard.
That one's hard for me.
Yes, I know.
That one's hard for me. I hear him like, that one's hard.
Yeah,
That one's too
Oh, that's great.
I'm like, buddy, you gotta try it. But he's like, with the parents, he's like, they won't make me. So he's like, he says, that one's hard for me.
Just to
Yeah.
see.
And they're like, okay, go to the next one. That one's hard for me. I'm like, you're so cute. Get over here. What is it?
I was like, I should have just made him do it when you told me to have them sit, you know, just like ask them, because then at one point, one of them was like, yeah, I don't know any of that. Yeah, I don't know any of that.
You're seeing like their future teen.
I know.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's nice of you to ask the lady, but
Right. Scratch all
those don't familiar at all.
So keep talking as long as you need to, but when you leave, you can gather like samples that you want to bring with you. Again, anything that's not on the table, tops of the tables out there, the bottom floor stuff, you can take it somewhere. Except for the other, on this side of course, that you can't take. Then next Tuesday, we're having soupas delivered. So you have to order what you would like.
Okay.
Put your name on this so we can capture what you would like to order. She said that she's getting us the box lunch, so we'll get what that entails. But apparently the protein bowls, the catering and delivery menu hasn't caught up with actually what's available. So if you want one of those, you need to go online and look at what is there. This isn't matching any longer. And our next meeting is May 9th, next Tuesday. And that will be 2 presentations, open court and into reading. And between now and then, please dump your questions, and it can be for any of the programs, into the corresponding question files or documents. I think that's all I have.
And that one is still at 5 o'clock, so.
Yes, yeah, Tuesdays to 5 o'clock.
I go to that meeting.
What?
I already told them I can go to that meeting.
I have to be there because it's election.
I know.
But I already told her, I was like,
Could've run after
I was like,
us.
can we
We
switch
can
it
try
to?
and shorten it.
Yeah. I'm like, well, we've been. I'm just going with it.
Okay.
I'm just going with it. And then I'll.
Who was presenting first, Sen? Open court was presenting first?
Oh,
Or you didn't say? Sorry.
I didn't say, but I can look. Let me see.
It's just elections, but we
So it
only,
should-
it's, well, hopefully because we're filling 2 positions. And so the thought process is because I'm gonna stay in my position, Kim's gonna move her position, and then we have to add other people, and we have no idea who those people are. So, but we're just voting. So technically, all we need is a quorum. Like, we don't even have to really be there.
People have been moving to Avenue and
Yeah.
Paul.
You want us to like write it about here or like what's gonna
Yep.
be?
Just anywhere, but make sure it has your name. So it can either be above the little box lunch or somewhere on the outside. Like frame.
Or do you, I mean, just tell me what you do. And I don't say that very often, so.
Right.
Write that down. Write that down.
I know.
This one, I got to tell.
Don't tell my
It's
husband.
never what to do. Write it at the top with your name. So, HMH is at 5:15 and McGraw Hill Open Courts at 7.
Well, that's good.
So that's
Already
good.
HMH.
Yeah.
So you're perfect.
Okay.
So that should,
I'll be late.
that would be better.
Sorry. Everything that could possibly happen is happening on that day.
Of course.
Like-
Is that when it's not finished?
Yeah, that's two. So we're doing, so I have my son's preschool program. And then we throw water balloons in a swim.
Yeah.
And then they come here.
So Tammy,
It's okay.
what are we at a point where I could slip out before it starts pouring?
Really gather the things.
Okay, so how,
Gather what
Well, that's
you
what it looks like right now.
how,
I know it's supposed to happen
honestly,
tonight. I didn't know it was like.
I did.
Oh, yes, okay, so
You
if
I
you,
make sure the hay.
we are ordering, first of all, we're ordering you this. So you can, whatever it says you can choose, but you choose your protein. If you choose one of these protein ones, apparently these are no longer available.
Strawberry.
I think it's these three, but if you want to see what they look like, you can go online.
So I was on autopilot, so I signed it and then I was like, wait, you put my name. So I just put
Oh,
boxes.
yep, beautiful, thank you.
So we just select,
So you're gonna pick either like a sandwich and a salad, or you're gonna pick a sandwich and a soup, or sandwich and a bowl, like one of these, and then indicate what,
Since I'm on my bike.
what it is. You can either write it here or basic.
okay,
All the open houses are finished now, right?
Nope, we have one next Tuesday from 4 to 8. And then I do have people that have called me to make appointments outside of those times, so I'm meeting some people here.
I just was thinking, I brought my Bible, so I'm not going to bring books home with me tonight. I guess I can bring them in a backpack. But I figured if there's going to be another open house, I would just come and pick up books when it was open.
So I will be here meeting a parent at 1:30 on Monday.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can just email me and tell me when you want to come by. There's a lady that works in the back sometimes in our warehouse, so she's sometimes here. Okay. So she can also let us in. So just let me know what works for you. Okay.
Thank you.
And then do you want to put them in? I have a bag actually, an empty bag. You could keep them in so I know what you want to bring.
Oh, I would, what are you planning to take with you, Trish?
Skills 3 for second grade and unit 5 for fifth grade.
Okay.
Yes.
I just took one unit.
Okay.
The
So,
duties for the evening are complete.
Yes. You can just put this.
I think I'll take this unit, unit 4 for second grade
So I already have.
and the Don Quixote.
Oh, you do?
Do you want to put it together for me? So I have
So,
every.
yeah,
I have
so this is what
this
this
one
one
here.
here.
I'm gonna go get a bag.
So we need to.